We often think of a home-cooked meal as the gold standard of eating, but over the last few decades, what ends up on our plates has been quietly replaced by industrial formulations, beginning with the classic TV dinner. Walk down any grocery store aisle today, and the majority of packaged items on the shelves are no longer biologically recognizable as food. This stark bar chart maps out our daily caloric intake based on recent CDC data. For the average American adult, 53% of all daily calories now come from ultra-processed foods, and for children under 18, the number climbs to nearly 62%. We are participating in a massive, uncontrolled dietary experiment. The data shows this experiment targets the youngest demographics the hardest. To understand the exact toll these products take on the human body, we can look to a 2024 Umbrella Review published in the British Medical Journal. This data visualization tracks the massive scale of that review. Researchers aggregated 45 distinct, independent studies, none funded by the food industry, analyzing data from almost 10 million global participants. As the data branches out, it reveals direct links between high consumption of ultra-processed foods and 32 specific health hazards. The highest risks correlate with heart disease, type 2 diabetes, mental health disorders, and early death. With millions of data points confirming the harm, the evidence proves these engineered products are active drivers of global mortality. To definitively identify which foods cause this damage, public health experts rely on the NOVA classification system, a standard recognized by the World Health Organization. This matrix breaks down the NOVA system. Quadrant 1 contains unprocessed or minimally processed foods, like fresh produce. Quadrant 2 covers culinary ingredients, like oils and salt. Quadrant 3 includes processed items made from the first two groups, like freshly baked bread or canned beans, typically containing just 2 or 3 ingredients. Then there is Group 4, ultra-processed foods. These are products made mostly from substances extracted from whole foods, like refined starches, added sugars, and hydrogenated fats. Manufacturers synthesize these extractions with chemical additives. Emulsifiers, artificial colors, and synthetic flavor enhancers are churned in to extend the product's shelf life and make it highly palatable. These items are engineered to solve corporate logistics and maximize supply chain efficiency, not to provide human nutrition. If these foods are heavily engineered, why can't we simply eat them in moderation? A 2019 clinical trial from the National Institutes of Health provides the answer. This split-screen scale illustrates the strict parameters of that trial. Researchers isolated 20 adults in a medical facility and gave them meals perfectly matched for total calories, fat, sugar, and sodium. The only difference? One diet was unprocessed and the other was ultra-processed. When participants were told they could eat as much as they wanted, the behaviors diverged sharply. The ultra-processed group ate significantly faster, consuming an extra 500 calories a day and gaining 2 pounds in just 2 weeks. The rapid absorption of dense calories in ultra-processed products aggressively lights up the reward center in the human brain. Overeating these products is a predictable biological response to a chemical formula. The manufacturer intentionally designed the food to bypass your natural satiety signals. If the medical science universally points to severe health risks in biological hacking, why do governments allow these products to dominate the market? This map tracks the food industry's aggressive legal counterattack. Since 2010, major corporations have filed 235 distinct lawsuits against governments around the world to block public health and dietary regulations. In 2021, Kellogg sued the UK government over plans to restrict the promotion of foods high in fat, salt, and sugar, rules that would have impacted many of their popular breakfast cereals. In court, Kellogg's lawyers argued that adding milk to a high-sugar cereal magically altered the product's actual sugar content, but the judge ultimately dismissed the claim. The industry knows these arguments are absurd. Their true goal is to engineer a regulatory chill, tying governments up in years of expensive litigation to bankrupt them and deter them from enacting vital protections. The strategy of heavily marketing addictive products while funding decades of delay tactics closely mirrors the historical playbook of big tobacco. Dr. Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus, Director General of the World Health Organization, has explicitly condemned this tactic, stating that these corporations use litigation to weaken public health measures, prioritizing their profits over human lives. When a product is chemically formulated to trigger addiction and legally shielded by corporate giants, the concept of moderation is a myth. If you look at an ingredient list and cannot recognize it as food, leave it on the shelf.